In the studio, joining us now on the line is our good friend, the Secretary of State of the great state of Mississippi, Michael Watson. Afternoon there, Mr. Secretary.
Afternoon, my friend. How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. I assume you're out and about, traveling around. You got municipal elections going on across the state today. What are you seeing and hearing?
That's exactly right. Gerard, we've been in 6 precincts already. We were in Canton this morning, Meridian right now. Going to head up north to Tupelo and to Columbus and Oxford, and we'll be all over the place.
Wow.
It's important for Mississippians to know that we've got close to 20 folks today. We'll be in about 60 different cities to make sure that we're following our election laws here in Mississippi. So if anybody's out there and has seen anything, make sure that they get in touch with us so we can follow up with them. And it's important to note one of the things that people kind of forget, we don't have the enforcement authority. So we've got to partner with our district attorneys and our attorney general to make sure that these crimes, if they happen, are prosecuted to the fullest extent.
Yeah, so how does your office, Mr. Secretary, how do you support the elections commissions and commissioners down at the local level? What services do you guys provide for them?
Yeah, so we do training, obviously, and then we're on the clock 24/7. When they have questions, they call us and to make sure that we can back them up.
Sure.
If there are issues with their voting rolls and to SIMs and other things that we are obviously in charge of here at the Secretary of State's office, just to make sure they know they've got a friend. And when they have questions, we're there to answer them, to support them along the way. But you make a great point there. Mississippians should understand that we're a bottom-up state. So the really hard work happens at the local level. And I've been telling all of our poll managers today, just thank you so much. We could not have free, fair, and safe elections without our poll managers, with our elections commissioners, with our circuit clerks, with our municipal clerks. So I really appreciate the work that they do. Yeah.
And so do you feel like it's going smooth today?
I do. In the precincts we've been in, turnout wasn't too good this morning, but we saw some pretty good turnout here in Meridian and the precincts that we visited. So we hope folks get out. And I was asking some of the poll managers, look, what can we do to get more people out and vote? So we're going to amp up our job that we do with promote the vote. And I think it's important that we go to communities and encourage them and really inform them, Gerard, of the process, not only the process, but the importance of voting.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I reported when we launched the show earlier this morning. I voted before I came on the air. And, I was disappointed in the turnout. What are you seeing? Yep. All right, we're going to try to get the Secretary back. Appreciate that. Him joining us today. Just a bad connection, I think, but just hang on there, folks. I wanted to get to this on the C Spire text line. I'm trying to go vote. I went to our normal voting location at Trace Park. A sign said to vote in Madison to an address on Old Canton, which happens to be at the airport. This is from JoJo in Bentonia. The few signs are very confusing as to where to go vote. I'm going to get out and walk around and see if I can find where to vote. This will probably cause a lot of people to not cast their vote. Okay, we got the Secretary back. I'm not sure if you heard that there, Mr. Secretary. One of our members of our audience wrote in about having some difficulty locating their precinct.
Yeah, that's an important question and one we've heard quite often, honestly, Gerard. And the difference there is, obviously, we have a poll locator up on our website, but those are based on statewide elections and county elections. Your municipal elections, sometimes they have different locations for their precincts. So we've been encouraging everyone to talk to their municipal clerks just to make sure that they are aware and up to speed on where to go vote. I think that's very important. Like your listener there mentioned, talk to your circuit clerks, your municipal clerks to make sure they give you the right addresses.
And so would you recommend that's what this listener does, is call the municipal clerk's office and find out?
Absolutely. That is very important.
All right. Hopefully you got that, JoJo. That's directly from the Secretary of State. And if they can't get any satisfaction there, Michael, what should they do?
Look, they can always call our office, and I encourage all of our listeners, when there are issues that you see, please let us know. Kyle and Gabe and the team at the office do a fantastic job of getting information out. So when they need us, please call us. Yeah,
absolutely. And appreciate that and appreciate the service there. I know your staff will be more than happy to help. So we talked earlier about this H.R. 1, and I know every time you come on, because it's so germane to what your office does, which is oversee elections, of course. But this H.R. 1, the For the People Act, it looks like the only thing standing between it and it as a bill and becoming law, or a resolution and becoming law, is Joe Manchin, Senator Joe Manchin. It's incredible to think that this one person is so critical, so pivotal, especially when you consider about such a sweeping act such as this. I mean, this would federalize the entire elections process.
An absolute train wreck. And one of the things that folks need to know about Senator Manchin is he's a former Secretary of State.
Yeah.
And so he put some information out this weekend. And one of the things that I really appreciated was that he pointed out, this is a partisan approach. This is not bipartisan. This is not for free and fair elections. This is going to slant, even he said it, that this would not be a fair and free election type approach. So I appreciate him standing up. And look, when you put information like that out and a statement like that, I think that really took the pressure off of him to let people know where he was going to be. And so I appreciate everyone who called and emailed and texted him across America. He was very important in this discussion.
I just feel like we're holding on here, for a year and a half to the midterms when we can hopefully change the balance of power in one or both houses, so we don't have to worry about this threat. I mean, it's like every day I get up wondering, well, is he going to cave today? Because if he and maybe Sinema and a couple of others that have expressed their concerns about killing the filibuster, which is key to get this act passed. But, I mean, he is absolutely getting slammed by his own party. There's certainly seems to be more discord in the ranks of the Democrats now that they're in charge. I guess that's what happens when you get in charge. You sort of line up on a couple of sides of key issues. But, man, that's what's happening here.
That's right. One of the things I appreciate, it looks more like he listened to the people of West Virginia than the leaders of his party. And at the end of the day, that's the most important piece. And, George, we've talked about this before. Yeah. The federal government has become such a behemoth. The states need to remember we created the federal government, so we need to take back charge at the state level and make sure that they listen to us, not us to them. Yeah,
that's a great point. And the concept of federalism and the 10th Amendment, it just seems to have been just tossed out the window since the Democrats took over the entire constraints of the constructs, I should say, of the federal government. So it's disturbing, and it's just more, I guess, concerning that it's just one person, it seems like, is so key and so critical. But have you talked to some other secretaries of state about this issue, in particular, H.R. 1, and kind of what your thoughts are about that? Have you guys sort of commiserated about that possibility?
We have, and it's been some very frustrating conversations at the national level, the National Association of Secretaries of State, when some secretaries from Colorado, from Michigan, from other places get on there and just praise the efforts from Maine, and all of us get so frustrated with them. Wait a minute, come on, y'all! You got to understand this is so partisan and not good for elections for all America.
Yeah,
and it's just the Republicans get together and just commiserate. Hey, let's hold tight here and do all that we can at the state level to fight this off.
Yeah, that's what I feel like as well. So I got to ask you about the situation, this video that's surfaced and maybe been taken down now up in Tupelo. It looks like some alleged vote buying schemes. I know you've made a couple of public comments about that. What can you tell us about that you're comfortable sharing?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, Gerard. That's been very public, and we started getting calls, I think, maybe Sunday night when we started seeing those posts on Facebook.
Yeah.
Not only that post, but then, there was another post later on Twitter about some churches doing the same thing.
Exactly.
Which is illegal. And one of the things that I really appreciate, the district attorney up there, John Weddle, who's a friend of mine, John and I got on the phone together and started talking through the statute and what we need to do to get information to him so he would be able to move forward if something did happen on this scale. And they did actually get a raffle out there for people that were voting.
Unbelievable.
And John was great and very responsive. And so I appreciate having district attorneys like that we can partner with to make sure that we are prosecuting any violation of election law. And that's important for Mississippians to know.
Yeah, interesting. I've got a text here from Karen in Oxford. We got just about a minute here. Says we need a law that requires a bill to be named for the majority of what it contains. talking about the For the People Act, which I discussed in sort of a mocking style a lot about the way they name these laws. But
no doubt. It's for the people who don't want fair elections.
That's right. That's a good point. Mr. Secretary, thanks for taking some time out on this busy election day to join us. Really appreciate it. We'll see you and talk to you soon, my friend.
Take care, Gerard. See you, buddy.
Secretary of State Michael Watson has been our guest. We appreciate him coming on. We got some more talk here waiting in the wings for you on the JT Show. Stay with us.